So that's a long story, and I think it starts when I was first introduced to what foster care really was. I grew up in a super sheltered, very agricultural community down in southern Huntington County. And so when I was in my late teens, I had the opportunity to go to some church camps for the summer. And when I was at one, I met this girl and we became good friends. And I had no idea what her backstory was or what she had been through in life. And we were all just kind of sitting around with one of the leaders one night. And somehow her story about being in foster care got brought up and how special her parents are. And the leader I was with at the time said something that we're all familiar with, I'm sure, of, oh, that just sounds so hard. I don't think I could ever do that. I would love them way too much. And this girl literally just looked at her and goes, well, then you should have already signed up because I wish somebody cared too much. And I was just like, I think we all just kind of froze and was like, oh, that wasn't the right thing. How do we come back, from this situation? Like, here I'm sitting, like, I've never been through what she's been through. I have two parents from a loving home. I have no idea what she's feeling right now, and she wishes somebody cared too much. And so that was kind of my first, eye-opening experience. I don't know from there when God really touched my heart to foster, but I will say I kept letting the whens get in the way. So first I was a teenager and it's like, well, when I graduate college, and then when I've traveled, and when my student debt is paid off, and then when I move back to Fort Wayne, when I get married, when I have a house, when my health is in a better position. And eventually I just had to kind of come to my knees and say, Jesus, like, when are the whens going to stop getting in my way and just do it? Because there's never a right time to have your life turned upside down. But I think when you stop looking at all of the distractions, it's a really easy decision because these kids need people all the time. There's never a wrong moment to jump into foster care. So I think that's kind of where my journey started. Sure. So the approval process for me and for in Allen County is 90 days. They get you start to finish licensed in 90 days, or that's their goal. It can happen faster depending on how quickly you can get through all of the paperwork. There is a lot of paperwork, but they make it fairly simple. The lady that licensed me was super great, so organized, and she really just kind of held my hand through the process. She was there to answer all of my questions. Something that I wish they would have told me during the licensing process is that once you are licensed, I had always heard the scary stories of, oh, I got the phone call the same day my license came through and I didn't even know I was licensed. For me, my license actually came through in early February, and then there was about a 3-week period where I had 5 calls. And each call I said yes to. The first 3 calls, I ran straight home from work. I was so excited. I got the chocolate chip cookies out and I was like making sure the sheets on the bed were age appropriate and putting toys out. And then a few hours later, I would get a call from that caseworker saying, oh, actually, we were actually able to place all of the siblings together in a different home, or a biological family member stepped in and is able to take them. And so it was always what was best for the kids, but it was up and down. I was like, ooh, this kid's coming to me. No, they're not. This kid's coming to me. No, they're not. So just be aware that happens. And then you start getting calls right away after being licensed. They need people and they need them in homes now. Normally when you get the call, the child is in the office with the caseworker. And so they don't have a lot of information. Even when it comes down to what size diaper do they wear, a lot of times that's unknown. They're just using whatever they have to get through. So be super flexible. I'm not. I'm a very type A person, so that has been super hard throughout this process to not know. But God is there and He's guiding the process and He knows, and that's what's important. The biggest thing that the church can do to support these kids is to pray for them, obviously. First and foremost, these kids came to me with pretty much nothing. They came with a Rubbermaid tub without a lid on it of clothes, and half of them weren't even theirs or didn't fit. Most of their physical needs have been met. GMC, thanks so much for all the diapers and wipes. It's been amazing for Lisa just to leave them on my door. That's amazing. But praying for them and then reaching out to them and letting them know that they have a community surrounding them. We're working really hard to get them involved in things, but they need to know that there are people that they haven't met that are praying for them, that are rooting for them, and that are on their team. The biggest piece of advice I can give to anybody that's debating it, questioning it, wondering if it's for them or not, or if they're going to care about the child too much, is to not wait, to not let the winds get in your way, and to just jump in. Like I said, there's never a good time for your life to be completely turned upside down. I went from having 0 kids and being single to having an 11 and an 18-month-old in my home, and it has been a whirlwind, but it has been the biggest blessing of my life. I have seen God more in the past 2 months with these children than I have seen in my entire life, and you can tell He's in it every step of the way. So don't wait. Don't question when the right time for you is going to be. The time is now. They need you now.